listening to Wavelength Radio from Cool Wave Pictures.
He's live. He's uncensored. And he's on the level.
He's Patrick Adam.
The Patrick Adam Show on Wavelength Radio.
Welcome back to the Patrick Adam Show here at Wavelength Radio from Cool Wave Pictures. I'm going to go ahead and cap the night off with a spot I like to call the blog spot. MySpace.com, Patrick Adam. Look me up. Be my friend if you dare. You can read these blogs. And not for nothing, they're pretty nuts. I don't really hold back as much as I think the average person should. I find myself questioning this all the time. Excuse me, water. I find myself just like going off on these blogs, and then during the week I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have done that because they could be used against me later in life, somewhere along the lines. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but I like to read one. And please email us, coolwaveradio@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. Give us a question. Shoot us a hello. Right after this, we have Charles Peterson coming up with his Blu-ray show. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. And I'm going to get the F out of here because I don't want to listen to him talk about his stupid Blu-rays. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one. It's called Angry? ? I was at my folks' house the other morning, and Mother said I need to watch it. Why? I said. Your anger, she replied. My anger. I'm going to lay it all out to you, lay it all out here for everyone, because I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm not fucking angry, okay? The problem here is, all right, is I confuse people. You know, they see my militant, sometimes racist, sometimes vile, sometimes inappropriate, sometimes hateful, sometimes funny, sometimes just plain tragic views. And I'm talking tragic views, like dragging my shit-stained ass on a carpet tragic. And they say, yeah, that's one angry motherfucker. Do I get angry? Yes. But I'm not angry per se. I just tell it like it is. See, I'm the bleeding heart of the world. All right, I see everything falling down around me, and this is the truth. That's how I see things. Slowly but surely, it's falling down. And try to do my best and advise everyone on what to expect when the walls come crashing down. You know, I feel people's pain. I do. Sometimes I laugh at people when they cry. Why? Because they're so full of shit and don't deserve the airtime. Paris Hilton. I mean, I could go off about that. I mean, that's just a freaking joke. I mean, a joke. Like, my local news covers this. Why does my local news cover this? Like, there's no reason to cover it. There's somebody who's been privileged their whole life, doesn't have the capacity past fucking 14 years old. And they just cover this shit over and over and over again. It's a hypocrisy. A hypocrisy. A great deal of the time, I weep. I weep with others when their pain is truly chaotic and sad. You know, why don't I act like this all the time? Because most people deserve what's coming to them. You know, fuck them. You know, why am I going to show all these people my softer side all the time? They're not going to understand it. They're not going to care to hear it. They're not going to care to see it. I reserve that for my close friends and my family members. You know? But like I said, I think most people deserve what's coming to them. Like Al Sharpton, you know? One day this guy, I swear, is going to be pulled over and he's going to get busted for doing crack off a hooker's ass. I swear. You just look at this guy. He just doesn't look right. I don't get a good feeling from the guy at all whatsoever. I don't know him personally. I'm sure he does great work. I don't know. But when it happens, I won't tell you I told you so. When I'm driving, I do scream at others. And if anyone else out there tells me they don't scream, they lie. I hate bad drivers, unless it's myself. I always give myself a pass. I also have these little scenes that play out in my head. You know, these homicidal fantasies about slamming people's heads into the fucking doors. Their shitbox cars with the Count Bassana stickers on them. But hey, that's just me. If you want to know my honest opinion about people, for the most part, we are a very confused lot. And I say we, and I include myself. You know, our popular culture has burned us out. We invent no more. We merely just use everything up. I feel that it's a disservice to the artists that pioneered jazz, blues, rock, and acting. But I'm not angry. I'm just right. But don't get me wrong. I have been wrong many times. But it's not hazardous to my health. Most others, when they are wrong, it's either hazardous to their health or hazardous to someone else. So I'm not angry, okay? I just try and help people see things a different way. And mother? No comment. Where do you think my anger comes from, huh? It was funny because after I got done having this conversation with my parents, and my dad and my mom, and she's worried. I'm worried about my boy. He's angry. Is he going to do? We segued into cat shit. And it was funny because I had commented, me and my lovely wife got a new kitten, found us, because that's what I do with my animals. I let them find me. They come, I take, I rescue. I rescue the animals. I rescue the animals from the graveyard of society in which they roam my streets. Anyways, this little cat shit on the floor, And it was in its room one day because we keep it separate. And it was like, making this weird noise, and it just shit. And it was like shit as it was walking around in a circle. And this is a baby cat. This sweetheart's probably only like 6 weeks old, right? And I said, my wife says it's the box. The box is probably too dirty. I said, yeah, she's probably overstimulated. Mom's like, well, you got to keep it clean. You got to keep the box clean. And this was after she was lecturing me on being angry. And we're talking about a cat box here, right? So I said to her very calmly, I said, okay, I understand that. But answer me this question. How do I clean my cat box every day? And she looked at me, she said with this vein popping out of her neck, I've seen those plastic bags you have down there. You take a shit, you put it in a plastic fucking bag, and you put that in your fucking trash can, son. What else do you think? Until she ran out of breath. She screamed at me about the cat shit. And I said to her, you're getting angry. I'm getting angry at society. I'm angry at people for doing stupid shit. And you're angry with me because I don't know how to clean up my cat shit. And I just thought that was friggin' hilarious. Thought it was great. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. Anyways, you're listening to the Patrick Adams Show. What I think I'm going to do now, since I've used up just about all my time, and I want to give Chuck Peterson here a chance to get his setup ready. I'm gonna go ahead and just say this is Wavelength Radio at Cool Wave Pictures. Okay, what you're gonna want to do is just give us an email anytime. coolwaveradio@gmail.com. It could be any time that you'd like. Charles Peterson, he's coming up next with his Blu-ray show, and this is Patrick Adam. I look forward to more listeners and maybe a few emails next week so we can open up a little bit of a dialogue about things. Or you can call me. You can't call me. What do you mean call? Soon we'll have phone service, apparently, but we'll see. Don't forget Cameron Cooper, Happy Hour. He's going live when, Charles? We don't know when Cameron's going live, but I just want to give a shout out to Cameron Cooper and thank him for his lovely comments about my wonderful voice. Wonderful voice. Ain't that a kick in the head? Anyways, thank you. Have a good night. This is Patrick Adam. Thank you for listening to the Patrick Adam Show. We'll talk to you next time.
Listening to Wavelength Radio from Cool Wave Pictures.